Alright everyone, hold up. A new trailer for Superman just dropped. The extended preview they showed at CinemaCon is finally out, thanks to James Gunn and Warner Brothers. We're gonna break down the comic book references in this trailer because, yes, there are some. We'll talk about the Fortress of Solitude since we've got more details now, plus we'll dive into Warner's strategy for promoting this movie. Some folks aren't really feeling it, while others are loving it, so stick around and let's chat. What's up guys? Welcome to Comic Chronicles. The new preview kicks off with that teaser scene we saw back in December, where Superman's crashing down in the ice all beat up, and then he whistles to call Krypto. Now, here's the twist. In the first teaser, there was a cut right after he whistled, and then we saw Krypto carrying Superman. But this time, it's different. After the whistle, Krypto comes running in super speed, and when he gets there, he jumps right on Superman. This moment is hilarious. Krypto's the kind of dog that's gonna be a handful, and on top of that, he has superpowers. And since Superman's all banged up, when he calls Krypto, the pup just starts bouncing on him, making things worse. It's really funny. I mean, how can you not love Krypto? He's so charming, right? He's that adorable dog that causes chaos but is just too cute to stay mad at, and the more trouble he gets into, the more lovable he is. Ever since that first teaser dropped, I haven't heard anyone say a bad word about Krypto. On the contrary, everyone's loving the super pup. Before long, we see Superdog taking Clark to the Fortress of Solitude, and here's where we get an awesome reveal. Check this out. The fortress looks amazing. The design is incredible. I really like that we have a fortress that rises from the ground and is packed with crystals, but what I liked even more about this one is that it's not completely made of crystals inside. There's more stuff in there. Sure, it's cool to have all those crystals, but when it's all crystals like in other versions, it feels like something's missing. In the comics, or even in animations like Superman, the animated series, the fortress is filled with all kinds of things. There's the statue of Kal-El's parents, a section full of endangered animals from different planets, and those robots from All-Star Superman, so much cool stuff. And this movie version of the fortress that James Gunn created is spot on. Just look at that door with the Superman symbol. It's dope! As they head into the fortress, a bunch of robots show up to help Superman, and each one has a different number on its chest, and the look of these robots is awesome. They really remind me of the design from Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely's All-Star Superman. When the robots are carrying Kal-El, he thanks them, and one of them replies that he doesn't need to thank them cause they're just robots without feelings. Then one robot introduces another and giggles, saying, "He looked at me." Alright, let's talk about that little humorous moment with the robots. I've seen some people say it was over the top, like it crossed the comedy line, but honestly, I don't see the problem. Guys, this scene lasts barely 10 seconds. There's no way you can say the movie is packed with comedic scenes over this. I didn't mind it at all. We'll discuss this more because I also want to touch on that Warner strategy one mentioned about promoting the film, but let's keep going with the new scenes from the trailer. The robots take Superman to a high-tech chamber, and there's a device that amplifies sunlight so Superman can heal faster. And check out that device. Even though it's a different concept, it kinda reminded me of that scene in Batman and Robin where Batman used the telescope to thaw Gotham by amplifying and reflecting sunlight. It's not the same, but it still gave me those vibes. This detail about the sun is super interesting because Kryptonian cells act like solar batteries, and when exposed to sunlight, they charge up everything, they boost the immune system, regenerate the body, muscles, all of it. It's like a healing factor. Unlike red sunlight, which drains their cells and leaves Superman powerless. The designs of the robots in the fortress look spot on from the comics, and the opening scene of the fortress feels just like All-Star Superman. The difference is the robots have these cute little eyes to make them more relatable. James Gunn's really gonna explore the human side of the robots, trust me on this. Remember that scene in the teaser where Superman looks sad holding a dead robot? Plus, people were talking about that joke. Look, that little comedic moment is there for a reason. The robots claim they lack emotions, but then one of them is happy to see Superman interacting with her. It's not just there for laughs, it's meant to connect with us. So when one of those robots bites the dust, it's gonna hit hard, and we'll feel what Superman feels. You've gotta open your mind a bit and see the whole build-up of the movie when it comes out, instead of just trashing that scene cause it's not an epic Superman moment like something from Zack Snyder with Henry Cavill. Snyder nailed it in Man of Steel with those epic action scenes against Zod, or those big rescue moments that give Superman that divine quality, but guys, that's not all there is to Superman. We'll dive deeper into that in future videos, but for now, let's continue with the trailer references. So, back to the robots in the fortress. Those numbers on their chests are a nod to the All-Star Superman animation, and it gives each one a unique identity so they don't all look the same. James Gunn really nailed it by adapting the Fortress of Solitude just like it is in the comics, and that's super cool. This is exactly what comic fans want, something that's true to the source material, rather than just making it all super realistic. That's what's missing in superhero movies, especially in the DC universe. Nolan and Snyder, with their darker and more realistic visions, kinda set this trend for DC films that shifted away from the whimsical, fantastic storytelling you find in the comics. This has led a lot of people to think that DC is way darker and more serious compared to Marvel, when honestly, that's not the case in the comics. This movie might be a shock for fans of Zack Snyder's films because just imagine a colorful, whimsical DC universe on screen, like in the comics. That's what the DC needs. When bringing realistic elements into fantasy, there needs to be a purpose for the story or character. And in this Superman trailer, you can see all those little details that have been carefully crafted. Want an example? Some of the locations used for Metropolis are from Cleveland, and the reason they chose Cleveland is because that's where Superman was born, where Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster created the character. Did you know that? Pretty cool, right? It's kind of like some meta-commentary happening, and that's a nice tribute to the character. It shows that James Gunn has his heart in the right place for this film. Anyway, those are the new scenes from the trailer. The rest is pretty much the same as the teaser from December, except for a few extra moments, like that scene with Lex Luthor saying, "He's back," and the kiss between Lois and Clark while the camera spins around them, adding intensity to the moment. Regarding Lex Luthor's line, we've got two possibilities: either Superman is about to show up, and that gives Lex an opening to invade the Fortress of Solitude, which we know is gonna happen, or this suggests Superman has returned from somewhere, like he's been away for a bit or even imprisoned. There's also a leak going around the internet about this, and I'll share more about it on the channel soon, so make sure to drop a super like on this video, hit that super subscribe button, and turn on notifications. We're keeping an eye on everything related to the Superman movie and bringing it to you first, so don't forget to subscribe to stay updated. Besides the scenes we talked about, another moment to note is when Superman's sitting in Lois's apartment, and while they chat, there's a giant creature wreaking havoc in Metropolis. Watching this scene now in the trailer, you can spot Green Lantern trying to contain that creature, which looks like the villain Solaris from All-Star Superman. It seems like this is when Superman's giving an interview to Lois. The trailer wraps up with a really nice logo, and those colorful rays in the background look awesome, in my opinion. So, guys, now that we can finally check out this trailer that was originally just shown at CinemaCon, we see that Warner's promotional strategy for the Superman movie is aiming for a family-friendly vibe, something everyone can enjoy, packed with plenty of adventure and action, instead of just pushing another superhero movie. Honestly, thinking that way makes sense, and I don't think that strategy is wrong. When they dropped the first teaser back in December, Krypto was the main star, and since then, Warner's been using him in all the marketing for the film, which is smart. If you want to draw everyone into theaters to watch this movie, you need marketing that appeals to as many people as possible across all age groups. It's clear that Warner has noticed superhero movies are drawing fewer folks to theaters and opted for this route to break through the bubble of those who only watch superhero flicks. The idea is to attract a wider audience, so I think that strategy is valid. Warner should get the general public to check out the Superman movie, not just the usual superhero crowd. But here's the catch. If Superman is Warner's big hope for the box office, then I think the movie's marketing should be cranked up a bit right now, since there are only 3 months left until it hits theaters. So far, officially, we've had that teaser drop in December, and then there was that hot spot that stirred up some talk about Superman's eyes, plus a short promotion featuring Shaquille O'Neal. Aside from that, there hasn't been much more in terms of promotion, so Warner really needs to step it up on the marketing front to boost the odds of bringing more people into theaters. On April 18th, there's something they're calling Summer of Superman, which is kinda like Batman Day, but for Superman. This strategy seems to be trying to mirror what happened back in 1989 with Tim Burton's Batman movie, which kicked off the second wave of Batmania around the globe and became known as the Summer of Batman. You can tell Warner's going all in on this, so who knows, maybe we'll see another trailer or more news about the movie on the 18th. Expectations are high. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me in this video. Now I want to hear your thoughts on the trailer. Did you dig the Krypto scenes? What about the Fortress of Solitude? Drop your comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications, cause I'm already prepping more videos about the Superman film, and you definitely don't want to miss out. Also, if you want to support our work, consider hitting the thanks button that pops up next to the subscribe and notification buttons on your phone. That way, you help us invest in the channel and keep bringing you the best videos with even better quality. Thanks a ton for all your support. I'll leave you with 2 awesome video recommendations about Superman popping up on your screen. Check them out. Thanks again, and see you next time.